Hello, my name is Heather. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be starting a new series on my channel where I do some Myrtle, trying to figure out some murdery things. This is supposed to be a very fun, like, puzzly game where you're trying to figure out different levels of murders. And I thought that it would be fun to do this with you all. Like, just start out this. There's elementary. What are the levels? There are elementary, occult, medium, hard-boiled, impossible. And then there are hints, solutions, and, you know, there are things along the way to help. So I have this that I'm going to do some murder-y things with you. And then I have these 3 books. I have The Murder of Mr. Wickham, The Gardener's Plot. Look how pretty this cover is. Oh my god, that cover's so pretty. And then I have Homicide in Hollow Hollow. I read Arsenic and Adobe, was it 2023, 2024? I read it either in 2023 or 2024, I can't remember. This is the second book in the series, and I really enjoyed the first book, so I'm reading this. But these are 2 library books. I have the audiobook for both of these. So my plan is to try to figure out the murders in here while I'm doing murder puzzles. I'm halfway through this, and I'm just gonna let you know, if we had to have house parties for an entire month, I don't know if I would be able to do it, because that's a lot. It's a lot. There's like 10 spouses, and some of their kids are there too, and there's just too many people in this freaking house. But the whole point of this is to bring together some relatives and new acquaintances to have like a house party for a whole month, and they're at the Knightleys. There are a lot of characters in here. I wish there's like a character map, because there's too much going on. The main people in here who are trying to figure out who murdered Mr. Wickham are the teenagers, Jonathan and Juliet. I do know that. But I don't really follow all of the other characters in here. I don't know who's who. I don't remember who. I know the Knightleys own the house, but when it comes to everyone else, I don't really know who's who, because there's just so much. There's so many people, and driving me insane. But Mr. Wickham comes and he invites himself to this party, this house party. No one likes Mr. Wickham. Mr. Wickham is like a debt collector, I would assume, and every male character in this book has done some sort of business with Mr. Wickham, and he is coming to this house party to throw a wrench in everyone's plans and to try to collect debts. He's also blackmailing some people in here too, which I found interesting. Like, Mr. Wickham's character, I found him to be very interesting, because he was like the only one who actually has a personality in here. And besides Jonathan and Juliet, who are the teenagers in here trying to figure out who killed Mr. Wickham, none of these characters have a personality. They're very two-dimensional to me. I don't know if they're supposed to have a personality, but like, it's very hard to distinguish between everyone. I know that Mr. Darcy, he is a detective, or like an investigator, so he's helping Mr. Churchill, who's, I don't really know what I think he's a cop or something like that. I'm not really sure. But there's just a lot of characters in here, and all the men, like I said, they have done business with Mr. Wickham. Their wives have no idea, except Mr. Darcy, I think. Or maybe it was Knightley. One of them do know that their husband did business with Mr. Wickham, and they're not very happy about it. I'm not really sure. I just know Mr. Wickham died, and Jonathan and Juliet are trying to figure out who did it. I don't even really have any suspects at the moment. I should have written everything down. I don't really have any suspects at the moment, because I don't know I don't know who these characters are. Like, I don't understand it. I'm not understanding it. I need a character map. Maybe I just need to write all of them down. I'm not really sure. It's entertaining, but I'm just like, who are you? Who are you married to? What's your husband's name? Because, you know, in historical fiction books, the wives, they have names, but the men go by their last names. But they also go by their first names. And it's just very confusing. It's very confusing to me. Overall, I'm interested to see who murdered Mr. Wickham and for what reason. I'm assuming it's for money. But y'all, I'm a little lost. I'm not sure. But I'm going to continue reading it and I'll give you updates. I might just use my whiteboard to write down all of the people. I should probably be doing that. Because that's what a good investigator would do. But I just needed to know who all these freaking people are. Oh, and there's also like servants in here that are a part of the mystery too. And I'm like, where did you come from? Who are you? What is your name? I don't know. I just know that there's a horse in here named Ebony. I do know that. It's Jonathan's horse. Finished this, giving it 1.5 stars. Way too many characters in here. I did not think that some of the characters that were in this retelling were written very well based on the character arcs that you already have from Jane Austen. Like the Darcy family, Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy. What happened? Like, what happened with them? I did not like the way that those characters were written at all, because if you don't know this, but Pride and Prejudice is like one of my all-time favorite classic books, and Darcy and Elizabeth were like the ultimate enemies to lovers, and that's one of the reasons why I love enemies to lovers so much. And then in here I was like, what happened to you? But there's a backstory behind it and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know, I just didn't particularly care for that. But then there are other characters in here that aren't Jane Austen characters, that they were just kind of written for this story, which is cool and everything, but there were too many couples to keep up with. Even if you were a Jane Austen fan, it's kind of hard to keep up with. I should have written all the characters down like I said that I was going to, but when I got like a little bit past the halfway point, I was like, I'm just gonna listen, because I'll have to restart the entire book over and I don't have time to do that. So the characters' backstories took over the majority of this book. And if you have like 25 characters in here, I'm exaggerating, but if you have this many characters, obviously their backstories are going to take over. And I wish we wouldn't have gotten all of the backstories from all of the characters, because it was very confusing. It dragged the book down a lot. And some of the characters in here were not written well, in my opinion. They got did kind of dirty, okay? And I don't know. I was really excited about this, but it just wasn't my thing. And the overall mystery of what happened to Mr. Wickham, I didn't really care about all that much. Mr. Wickham he's not a very good character anyways. And what happened to him happened, and I was just like, okay, cool, we're gonna try to figure out who did it. But I did enjoy Jonathan and Juliet's relationship, like their friendship in here. I think in the next couple books, because this is a series, Jonathan and Juliet will end up becoming a couple. Am I going to read it to find out? Probably not. But I liked their dynamic because they were really sweet and they were very nice to each other. They're friends and they try to figure out what happened to Mr. Wickham. And then when you find out who did it, you completely understand why, because Mr. Wickham he's an ass. And he's trying to blackmail everybody. And he's a womanizer and all of these horrible things. So I get why what happened to him. I just didn't care about it all that much. I think if it was another character that wasn't a horrible human, but like did something bad to one of the characters in here, that would have been a better choice. But I'm not I'm not going to write a book like this, most likely. But yeah, so I don't know, just wasn't my thing. Okay, wasn't my thing. I think if you enjoy Jane Austen books and you're really good at keeping up with characters, and you just like absolutely love historical fiction, you might like this. But personally, not for me. Okay, next we're going to read the Gardener's Plot. I think this is going to be a little bit more my speed, because I think this is going to represent everything that I enjoy about cozy mysteries. Small town, sleuth, detective, trying to figure out what happened to the murder. I think there might be a lot of characters in here, but I don't think it's going to be as intense as the murder of Mr. Wickham. I'm also going to need to do my first Myrtle. So we'll do that together eventually. I just have to find time to do it. I read the actual like murder case a little bit, but I'm gonna have to go back and actually read how to solve these puzzles again, because there's a specific way that you do it. And I will just take you along for the ride. Time to do some Myrtle. So we have 3 suspects. We have the amazing something, Midnight 3, and then the Dame Obsidian. And locations are an enormous bathroom, the bedroom, the screening room. Weapons are a fork, an aluminum pipe, and a heavy candle. So looking at, I have my little erasable pen, because that's the only erasable thing that I have in my office at the moment. I don't know where any of the pencils are. So it says Midnight 3 was still brandishing an aluminum pipe when Logico arrived. So we're gonna mark Midnight 3. He's the sunglasses with the aluminum pipe. So he had that. Check mark for there. Okay. Body was found in a marble tub in the bathroom. Okay. Dame Obsidian was found hiding beneath the red velvet seats. So she was in the screening room. Body was in the bedroom. The heavy candle was not in the bedroom. So heavy candle not in the bedroom. Okay. And it says that the amazing, whatever that is, trusted the suspect who brought a fork. So I'm assuming the fork the suspect who has the fork is the Midnight 3 person, because he is the one that is hosting the dinner party. He is the grandson of the founder of the Midnight movies and a self-described self-made man. I assume that. Not that I know, but let's just go ahead and put some X's. So she was not in the bedroom or the bathroom. She was in the movie room. I'm sleepy. The candle was not. Oh crap. The candle was not in the bedroom, not the bathroom. Candle?
Sometimes zombies drop a carrot or potato. That's so weird.
They drop a potato or a carrot. What can you feed with potatoes and carrots?
I don't know. I already know that you can feed a horse a carrot, but not a potato.
Okay.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you.
She can make the body disappear. I got it. Yay. Okay, cool. Cool. Yay. I don't need to look at the other ones, but I got it right. High five. Yay. Okay, I finished the first one. Should I do another one? No, I need to wait. Okay. Yay. Did it. I finished it. Okay, I'm gonna be reading this. So when I get halfway in, I'll let you know. So, wanted to fill you in. Yes, I'm driving right now, but it's not illegal because my hands are free. Anyways, I wanted to fill you in and let you know about the gardener's plot. The gardener's plot is such a cute, cozy mystery. I'm really enjoying it. We have Maggie, who just moved back into her late grandmother's house. She got that after her grandmother died. And it's full of memories. Her grandmother took care of her when she was younger, because her parents just kind of like dropped her off and left. and did their own thing. So Maggie's grandmother took care of her, and there's just a lot of memories in that house. So Maggie gets on the like gardening committee, and they make a community garden for everybody. And on the opening day, Violet, who is supposed to be over the garden, doesn't show up, and she leaves a note for Maggie telling her just to go ahead and start without her. So Maggie goes ahead and starts without her, but then plot twist, not really a plot twist, it's in the synopsis, but she finds a dead body. She sees a boot in the ground, she tries to get it, and when she takes the boot off, there's a foot. And lo and behold, it's somebody in the town that nobody really likes. He is actually trying to buy Maggie's grandmother's house from her. He's like a developer, you know. So he's trying to buy out everybody in the small town so he can develop, I believe it's like apartment buildings and stuff. So yeah, so she finds a dead body. So now her and her friend Sally are trying to figure out who murdered this guy, because it looks really bad on Maggie, and she thinks that the cops are trying to blame it on her. So she's trying to figure out who murdered this Carl dude. And then you get to see all the little drama-filled spats throughout the entire town, which is really cute. I'm enjoying it. I love a good cozy mystery that involves like a small town of just like people who've known each other their entire lives, because of all the little like small details that the author puts in. And I believe that the author has done a really good job so far of making every character have their own personality. That was one of the things that I had a hard time with in The Murder of Mr. Wickham, because everybody just sounded a lot alike. But in this book, they are sounding like their own people, okay? And I am enjoying it. I like Maggie, I like Sally, I like all the little side characters. Maggie and this chick named Catherine have beef. They've always had beef, and it's just really cute. Here's the book, since I'm not driving anymore. I just pulled it up at my house, but look, it matches my nails. But I'm really enjoying this. It's very cute. It's very quick too. But Maggie's also getting these, like, not prank calls, but you know when you call somebody and you're just like, I guess it's a prank call, but she's getting those kind of calls, and they're kind of freaking her out because she doesn't know who it is, and she doesn't have, like, her grandmother never really came up with the times for like caller ID and everything. She has like an old rotary phone. If you don't know what a rotary phone is, I'll put it up on the screen. But I'm showing my age here since I know what a rotary phone is. But she doesn't have like caller ID, so she doesn't know who's actually calling. But it's starting to freak her out, which I would be freaked out too if somebody ended up dead in the garden that I was supposed to like help and all that. I will say, if you're not into gardening, if you're not a gardener, or you don't really like to read about that, you might find this book a little bit dry and a little bit boring, because she does talk about gardening a lot in here. She is a master gardener. I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming it's somebody who like knows their shit, you know. But she is, it's a decent time. It's cute. I don't know if it's going to be a 5-star, but it's going to be, if it continues the way that it's going, and if I think this one, there's not a lot of like red herrings, and there's not a lot of, it's just kind of like, I think the killer or whoever, you know, whoever's doing this is just gonna like come up, because there's not a whole lot of detail about the actual mystery itself besides like 2 people. And one of them, that would be way too easy. And if it is that person, then I'm gonna be like, you went the easy way. But if it's the other one, I'll be like, okay, that's pretty good. But also, oh, I forgot. Also, Maggie's friend Violet, who is supposed to help her with the gardening stuff, or with like the local plot, she's missing too. So this guy ends up dead, Violet's missing, Maggie's getting these weird freaking calls. And then she also has an issue with her cousin Simon, who is wanting... I just turned my air conditioner off. No, I don't need to do that. No. Who is wanting Maggie's house because he feels like it's his right, because he's the oldest cousin, to get their grandmother's house. So you got that too. But Simon, you can just tell him to go you know where and he'll be fine. But yep, I'm enjoying it though. It's cute. It's a cute little book. Ended up finishing The Gardener's Plot, and I'm giving it a 3.5 star. Thought that it was a really cute murder mystery, cozy book. I thought it had all the things that I particularly like in cozy mysteries. It was just kind of boring. No, I wouldn't say. It was just kind of, it just told the story. Like, you got a murder mystery, Maggie's trying to figure out who's doing all the things. One of her friends goes missing. Her and Sally decide that they want to try to solve the mystery and solve the murder and all that kind of stuff, and they end up doing it, and it wrapped up nicely. But you know, it was a good book, but it wasn't one of the ones that I was like, I'm ready, I want to see what's going on. It was just a very nice read, and I enjoyed my time. I really hope that this author continues on with Maggie. I don't know if she's going to, because I like her writing style, and I just like how simple everything was. It was easy to follow. There was a lot of characters, but they were easy to recognize because they were very well fleshed out in my opinion. But yeah, so I enjoyed that. I'm not going to do Myrtle right now, but I will do one later on. But I wanted to fill you in and let you know that I also started Homicide in Hollow Hollow. I got a little bit over halfway yesterday. This is a very easy book to listen to. I cooked, I cleaned, I played with my kids. I did a whole bunch of stuff while listening to this book, and it's very easy to follow. So we have Leela, and she is helping with a pageant, and in their community this pageant is a very big deal because it helps young women with scholarships, and she has won the pageant before, which is why they wanted her to be involved. But there's also some alternate motives as to why she is involved, because she is a woman of color, and they wanted somebody to be representative of that on like the committee. And the woman who says it just flat out says it out loud in front of a lot of people, and Leela's like, oh, so that's the only reason why you chose me. Cool, got you. But there's a lot of talk about race in here. There's a lot of talk about depression and anxiety and mental illness. This book is a little bit, it's a darker, it has a lot of darker topics than the first one. And the author's note does talk about that going into it, because the author said that she was in a pretty bad place when she wrote this book, and it translated in this book, and I can totally see why, or I can totally see how that it is translated into this book. Plus, Leela's not in a very good place in her life either, because it starts right after the second book, or starts right after the first book, and what happened in the first book was pretty traumatic for her. So I can see why she is acting the way that she is, but it just doesn't have that fun aspect that the first one had. This is a much more serious book, which is not bad, but I was expecting it to be a little bit more like fun and quirky, and just like all the aunties getting together and Leela solving this murder and all this kind of stuff, but it just has like a darker tone to it. I'm not liking it, but it was just kind of not what I was expecting. One of the people that is putting on this pageant and that has funded this pageant has ended up dead, and Leela and another person who are running, like taking a little run or whatever, like exercising, they stumble upon his body, and that is the mystery of this. I am loving the food in here. There is so much talk about food and it sounds freaking delicious. I also love that recipes were left in the back of this book, just like the first one. So all of the recipes that you, or all of the food that you hear being talked about, like Tia Rosie's grilled adobo chicken wings, they sound really good even though I don't really eat chicken wings. And then the Hollow ice candy, oh my god, it sounds so freaking good. So I love that aspect. I love it when in cozy mysteries where food is like one of the main topics. It is I love it. Okay, I love it. It makes me so hungry. got the third one wrong because I'm an idiot and I didn't pay attention to what I was doing. The murder weapon was literally like right in the description. It told me what it was and I got it wrong. How do you do that? How? And it told me the suspect, but I still got it wrong. How? How do you do that? I don't know. I'm very irritated at myself right now, okay? It's not that big of a deal, but I'm still irritated. I ended up finishing this and I'm giving it 3 stars. Like I previously said, it didn't have the same coziness that the first one did. This was a much more serious book. Leila is going through a lot of, I would say depression or anxiety, but she went through something that people should not have to go through, especially involving police and being falsely accused of things. And she has a good support system, but she really misses her parents, so she's going through that too. And she's picked to be a judge for this pageant that she ended up winning, but you find out in the actual book how she truly feels about this pageant. This pageant is for girls to get a full ride scholarship, and a lot of these girls come from poorer backgrounds and some of them are in foster care. And the people who are running this pageant mostly do it because they want the recognition for doing good things. And they're not in it for all the right reasons. There are some racist undertones in this book when it comes to BIPOC characters, because this book does have Filipino characters, it does have black characters, it has white characters. It's very diverse when it comes to all of the characters in this book. And Leila is going through it. She feels those microaggressions that people are saying about her and saying about the girls, and she tries to take up for the girls, and she tries to give them the support that they need rather than just going in and wanting to win the entire pageant just because of monetary value. So she's trying to do that for them, and then somebody ends up dead, so she's thrown into that again. She's trying to open up her own business. She's trying to do all these things, and things just like are being thrown at her constantly. So she's going through the gigs. She's going through it. And then there was a little twist at the end that I kind of saw coming, because this one character in here, she is intense. But overall, it was an okay story. I do feel like the author giving some insight at the very beginning of with her author's note, saying that she was going through a lot of things while she was writing this book, translated into Leila's character, which she said that it was supposed to, but it just didn't have that same fun, cozy mystery vibes. It was a very serious book. And then the side characters in this book, I didn't feel like they really had all that much of a purpose. Like a lot of her friends and her aunties, they were just kind of there. In the first book, there was a lot of things that they did together. But Leila in this book, she was just kind of off by herself. And I missed that whole community aspect of this actual book, even though there was a pageant going on. But it also kind of came off a lot more younger than the first book too. I kind of got YA vibes about this. But the food references in here, spot on. Every time food came on that page, my mouth watered and I got hungry. And yeah, so that's what I feel about this book. I did want to show you the next couple books that I'm going to be reading in the series, just to see if you'll come back and watch my video again. But I picked up the Thursday Murder Club because I've heard nothing but really good things about this, and it's a lot of people's favorites. I hear that it's very funny, very lighthearted. Yeah, I have 9 Ways to Die as well, and this is an Enneagram murder mystery, so trying to figure out which Enneagram killed the person. And then I have 12 Motives for Murder. And I want to try to figure out who the killer is before everybody figures it out in the book. And I want to take you along with me. I'm also going to do some Murdles in the second video too. So I hope you'll stick around. I hope you enjoy this video. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I think I'm gonna end this with you watching me do another Myrtle. I've already done 3 so far. I got the first 2 right, and then the third one I got wrong because I was an idiot and did not pay attention and did not use my brain. So the 4th one, I'm gonna use my brain, and I guess you're gonna watch me do it. So hope you enjoy it. High five. I got it right.